I am your DM, Bryn. Playing with us this week is Tavern, played by Cloaking.
Hello.
Oh goodness, my brain is stalling out. Maxine, played by Rainbow.
Hello, Jay, it's me, Maxine, singing to you again.
Rum, played by Chef.
I'm never prepared for that.
Kellogg, played by Bunsen.
My voice is very inconsistent.
His voice
And
sounds
Smoke,
fine to
played
me.
by- Smoke, played by Jay.
Hello, it's me.
You guys couldn't see that, but when Maxine occurred, Jay made a face.
I think we all did.
Yeah, I think
All made the same face.
the wax came out of my ears.
Bad face, what do we call? Anyway,
Maxine Exotic's voice will just peel the paint right off of the inside of you.
Wait, what paint?
In there? Jimmy, no. So, you guys decided last session you were going to go and head off for the Fae Patron. He's still inside the town, so you're not looking at going too far away to get to him.
Is Jay still being carried by Rum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Any smoke?
Do you think
Yep,
the
I'm still
Fae?
on.
Do you think the Fae patron finds us patronizing? No, anyone?
Probably not.
Well, I thought it was funny.
You were wrong.
Maybe if you're real nice, he'll teach you some magic, Rum.
I already know magics, Maxine.
But you don't know his magics.
How about you be quiet now? We're still not friends.
It's at this point, as you guys are walking back, you hear Emirate just immediately trip over a tree root.
You alright, little elf?
Do you need to be carried too?
No,
I have
no,
another
no.
shoulder.
It's just sometimes I get a little... I'm not as good with all this wooded stuff.
Aren't you literally a field researcher?
Not really, I spend most of my time in the lab. This is kind of new.
Fair enough.
I worked mostly in a
You did
theoretical field until, like, very recently.
You did say field researcher, not woods researcher.
Oh,
You know,
what I
I'm
meant,
starting
cleric.
to think that college is not accredited.
It's the only college.
Well, then that's a monopoly. That's as predatory as being unaccredited anyway.
He gets up pretty easily and follows you guys, but he seems a little out of it after that.
He seems out of it?
A little out of it after that.
After falling.
Yes.
Okay.
Big
Are you
fall.
sure you're alright? You look a little wobbly.
Yeah. He just continues on. He's walking fine. He just seems kind of spaced out.
You look a little pale.
You're distressed about something.
That's a little rude. And no.
Rude. A friend is concerned for a friend, and you want to say it's rude. Okay.
How far is Emirate from us? Like, what's the marching
He's
order
walking.
like here?
He's walking with you guys, so
Yeah, but like, what's the marching order like here?
Does that fit the picture?
y'all want to figure out your marching order then?
I'm honestly just kind of like, I'm on. I guess, yeah.
You would be on Rum's shoulder.
What the hell? Okay, there we go.
Is Emirate at like the back of the line?
Probably.
Alright, because I want to try to get Smoke's attention, try to whisper something. So I walk alongside Rum and then I look up at Smoke and
Which way am I facing?
try to get Smoke's attention. Hey, Smoke.
Mm.
I'm trying to keep it down so that Emirate couldn't hear. You know how the mirror was missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think? I nod in the direction of Emirate.
I'm not sure. And I don't feel like this is the time to be turning on each other.
Right. The thought just occurred to me since he's a little out of it at the moment.
Perhaps, but the mirror can't do much on its own.
Perhaps whoever took it thinks. Oh wait, am I hearing this? They're
No,
talking
you're-
like next
Probably.
to my
literally
ear.
carrying
Okay.
smoke.
Perhaps whoever took it already has some other piece of the puzzle, and they need the mirror to go with it.
Perhaps.
I just wanted to bring that up.
It doesn't take too long for you guys to make it back to town, of course. The Fey Patron, of course, is still kind of roaming around and sort of just enjoying the town before he heads back out into the woods.
Okay. And what were we headed to him for again?
uh,
We just really like
I-
him.
I think we were heading
I
there
think
because Smoke wanted to ask him for help.
Yeah, we're going to go see if the Fey King knows anything about these portals again.
Oh,
And
right.
we're going to explain our new theories and ask if there's any direction we can be led in now that we can't trust the information we've got.
All right. How do you approach the Fey King?
So are we here?
Yeah.
Rum, put me down.
All right then. And he sets you down.
Where exactly are we?
You're in town. He's still he's milling about in the town and everything and just checking in on stuff and making sure everything's okay before wandering back into the forest with his entourage.
King!
Yes.
Wouldn't expect to find you simply milling about the town.
Well, this is my favorite place to hold festivals after all.
It would make sense.
And what brings you back here, child?
I'm mournful to admit it, but we do need help.
Hmm.
The information we were given, we have been getting, cannot be trusted anymore. These portals that are opening are being constructed mere hours before we arrive in some cases. Yet the information on their locations was given to us weeks ago, or around a week ago, rather.
Hmm. It's possible that these positions have some form of power of their own. But I wouldn't really know much about that.
Is there any way
The
we could
idea, though,
find
that
the power source?
it could just be the inherent location. It could have to do with the way it's positioned and the way it views something in the world. Who knows?
We know where a bunch of these portals are. If does anyone recognize some kind of pattern with their locations?
I can't really think of a pattern. They just see they aren't. Not all of them are. Hold on. One here, one here, one here. They're centralized around metropolitan areas.
Did you just realize that?
Yeah, I got an int of 11.
Well, because I never realized that either.
Every single one is either within or close to at least one major metropolitan area.
Well, to be fair, there's draw an X where there's not a metropolitan area.
Yes, but the placement seems extremely deliberate.
Rainbow. In the water.
Dude, these Atlanteans.
If they're Lanteans, we just
Regardless.
need those crystals they wear around their neck.
Regardless, the portals also seem to be in places that would be convenient to travel between.
They can't be that convenient. Clearly, they require a lot of setup and have a one-time use.
But what takes more time? Walking to a preconceived area, placing 12 stones in a circle and activating them, or traveling probably for weeks at a time to get to the other end of the continent.
But think about how many stones this person must carry. They've got a giant Santa satchel full of these heavy stones. They leave them behind.
The stones are the least important part of this. They can be created fairly easily.
Oh, well, they look rather special.
Oh, they look special likely because they're created by magic.
I
Fair enough.
might know someone I can ask. But I can't ask him until tonight.
Why? What goes on tonight?
He doesn't really do anything during the day. He likes to sleep then.
A vampire?
You think me a friend with a vampire? Well, I do know a couple.
I think you friend of everyone, King. That's why I trust you not to obliterate me as I walk into your presence.
All right. I can ask him tonight. He might know more about these gates. You do mention that most of the gates have opened at night?
I do believe every single one has opened during nightfall.
Then that does seem like something he would know much about.
And I'm kind of curious if maybe smoke here isn't the thing that's activating them by just being near it.
It is possible. I was the only one who didn't go near the portal at first.
Well, we were
I
about to
didn't go near it
test
either.
if any one of us activated
no.
the portal and we suddenly decided to come back here.
Because opening the portal could become dangerous, especially if we're being manipulated into opening them.
To be clear, I think only 2 of us actually approached the last one.
Yeah, only 2.
Right. I was going to go next. Well, barring any more information, I feel like we still have to test these things. What else can we do?
It could be extremely dangerous.
Right, but what else can we do?
Well, if we know that it takes specific conditions for for them to open, then it probably isn't that dangerous to leave them out there. Because, despite the fact that Kellig was able to activate one, he wasn't able to activate this one.
Well, I didn't approach this one yet.
I thought you did. I thought we
No.
tested you first.
Yeah, we
No.
tested me and you, didn't we?
We tested Tavern
Yeah,
and
there's Maxine and
Maxine.
Tavern.
I thought we definitely tested. We ruled them out because it couldn't have been them because of the first
Well,
portal.
We tested them because we want to see if just anyone.
Yeah,
would-
we tested them because we
Yeah.
ruled them out.
You know something you're not telling us.
Me? I know nothing.
Can I roll insight on that?
Sure.
Well, surely you don't mean you know nothing. You must know
In
something.
in the vast knowledge of the universe, I know nothing.
That I rolled a 12.
He's absolutely lying. He knows something. God damn it. I
Uh,
rolled like a 2 and a 3 so far, silently to myself. I'm really upset.
uh, for
It's back.
faking, forgive my impertinence. I think that's a word that applies. Um, I really don't think you're telling us the whole truth. If you please, if you could be honest with us, we're trying to save lives here.
I do know a little about the portals. But I did not lie when I said I knew someone who probably knows more.
Could you tell us what you know?
That some small portals can be opened to pass between places on this plane. You will probably pass through another plane, sometimes even a temporarily existing plane for a very short time, usually. They're not generally dangerous. At
That was
least
the
not the smaller ones.
that was similar to the first one we opened.
Bigger or smaller than a bread box?
I have used the smaller ones on occasion,
Why
as
would you
have some
hide
of
this?
my colleagues.
Why didn't
Likely
you just
because
tell
these-
us this before?
Because I don't want. Because if they are using larger crystals and larger portals, they could potentially endanger things. If I tell a bunch of wizards that there's a thing that they can figure out how to do bigger, they're just gonna keep doing it bigger until they rip everything apart. I'm
Well,
going to be honest with you. As nice as I am to the college, I know for a fact that they don't know when to stop.
Were we not sent on this mission in order to stop these portals, not to study them to do them ourselves?
You're too trusting, as evidenced by the fact that you didn't immediately kill me when I came clean. There's no way the college doesn't have an ulterior motive. Someone there gathered us together. This information is being given to us. It's misleading. There's another player at work here. We're all being strung along on something far greater than any of this.
Does anyone here even care about portals? I know I don't.
I turn to Maxine and Emmerich, try to read their faces because they're associated with the college.
Emmerich looks distressed at this, actively.
Can
Because,
Because?
yeah. Most likely because this was his work, this was his thesis. And the prospect that, it might be being used for bad things is disconcerting.
Could I roll insight on Emmerich?
Yes.
I want to know if I can tell if he's known that the college might have ulterior motives.
Go for it.
Can I roll insight on Bunsen's wrong of insight?
That doesn't even make sense.
It's a joke.
Also, I rolled a 6, but I'd like to spend a luck point to re-roll it.
Okay.
That is a 12.
Yeah, no, Emmerich didn't even think of that as a possibility. It's obvious. The prospect of his research being used for something that could potentially hurt things just isn't sitting well with him. You do notice, though, he is holding himself a little differently. And you're not sure what it is.
Thank you, Faking, for telling us this.
Indeed. We will remain in town until we can meet this contact of yours.
Why can't we just meet this contact now? It's a bit urgent.
Because they're asleep.
He doesn't
Oh, well,
out.
the fate of the world is not quite nearly as important as his sleep.
Fool.
He will not speak and he will not awaken until the evening.
You must understand, there are beings in this world that will die if they see the sun.
Hey,
Well,
instead of
Nobody
sitting
said
here
he had to
complaining
come
about
out
it,
into the sun.
instead of sitting there and complaining about it while we wait, we could always find like a horse for you guys. Smoke could definitely use a wagon to travel with.
Hmm.
How much time is it until evening? About.
Well, considering it's late morning-ish into the early afternoon, it's gonna be a bit.
Hmm.
Let's go find a horse and um, carriage.
I'm gonna speak generally to the whole party. Um, if we're just looking to kill time until the evening, uh, would you mind if I tried to see if I could find some sort of odd job to do around town? I'm trying to.
We're
I'd like to
always
get some better armor
waiting.
soon.
Why can't you just tell us where this person is and we'll go find them in wherever they are?
Because it doesn't work that way.
These are
The
beings.
Fake King is saying we have
Thanks.
to wait for a reason.
Very
These are
descriptive.
these are beings of deep magic, more than likely, Rum. The type of magic that can't really be bargained or worked with. It's the kind of magic you kind of just have to accept.
Well, don't they just go somewhere during the day? You said that they are hiding from the sun.
They're not exactly hiding from the sun. They just they use this time to rest.
Fine.
On top of that, I don't know if he's so willing to speak to others.
Oh, good. So we're gonna wait all day and he's not even gonna talk to us.
Well, that's not as much up to me as up to them. You see him kind of just like look out into the woods for a moment.
Them
Could you tell us
who?
anything? Could you tell us anything about who they are?
I can't. I cannot.
All
You
right.
can't or you
Rum,
won't.
Rum is going to try to charm person again.
Oh, here we go.
Faking.
Against
You're going
the
to charm.
King?
Faking.
You know, you can almost cert.
You want to tell me what is going on here without beating around the bush? And then he waves his hands around in random little circles.
Mhm.
Can I roll an intimidation check?
I don't think you're very
Go for
intimidating
it.
to a fucking Fey King.
Let's see. It's intimid. As a 10.
He, he sighs. Rum, I need you to understand that I am not doing this to annoy you. I'm not doing this simply to bother you. I am doing this for safety.
Fine.
Is it a case? Is it a case where like saying their name can summon them or something like that?
No. I just don't want. There are some things that I would rather not get out.
Well, we're about to meet them anyway later today, aren't we?
No, I'm going to meet him. Unless they decide you can, you get no say in this.
Where's Emerald at?
I'm not about. I'm
Right
not
next to
about
me.
Emerald's kind of just spacing out against a wall.
All
but
right. So are we just
Yeah.
figuring out something to do for the day?
Suppose
I guess.
All right.
I'm gonna
Well,
go see if I can find some odd jobs to do. I want to get some new armor later.
say, mate, I think I'm going to go find me and Emerald some pancakes. Come along, Emerald. And I motion for him to come with me.
He initially resists for just a moment, but then willingly follows you after that.
Okay. So Rum's goal here is to try and lead him away from the party. So, is that possible?
Yes, that sounded ominous.
Are we playing Among Us now?
Gonna take him to a dark
Alright,
alley.
so
Go
he's
to
just gonna
electrical.
casually
They
walk
never
with Emerald
suspect you.
through town, and and maybe grab some lunch or something along the way. But really, he wants to have a conversation with Emrit. So when they get to be walking somewhere where the rest of the group can't hear, he's just going to say to Emrit, "Why won't you just tell us everything you know? Why are you so freaked out right now?"
Because I don't know anything.
But you're terrified of something. If you don't know anything, then what are you terrified of?
It's the fact that I don't know anything.
Well, none
It's
of
that
us know
everything
anything
is-
either. Do you see us turning white and shaking in our boots?
I've spent my whole life trying to make sure I know things and find something new, and finding out all my research might be worse than it could have been. And now there's something wrong with me, and I don't know what it is exactly, and you guys don't know what it is, and he just kind of starts to get more uncomfortable.
I think we should test if you open the portal.
Right now?
Well, no one else wants to do anything. Everyone else is just going to spend a nice day together. I think it's time we test if you and I can open the portal.
Are you sure we shouldn't just go get everyone else too?
I don't think so. I'm suspicious, and I want to test each person one at a time, and I think the place to start is the one who's unreasonably terrified after everything we do.
Unreasonably?
Well, no one else is as terrified as this guy seems.
To be fair, he was nervous about just existing near you when you guys first met, so this doesn't seem a little too weird.
Okay. Fair enough. So he's just going to give him the side eye then and says, "You're sure you're all right?"
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I feel fine physically. I just feel a little tired.
And you've shared everything you know. There's not some deep, dark secret you've been hiding since we met you.
Nope.
Insight check.
Roll inside on that.
No. Oh. Alright.
16.
Shit.
Man, you're beefing tonight.
I rolled a 5. This
Friends-
curse came back to me.
Friends dice are back after that last tomb session where they killed it.
You know, he definitely has something he's not talking about, for sure, but you're not sure if it's very serious or not.
Emrit, I need you to be 100% honest with me and tell me whatever is bothering you. You can just tell me. That way, if it's nothing, then I will keep it to myself.
It's not really... It's not something that's easy to talk about.
Come on, you
Just
could tell me, Everett. We're friends here, and we care about you. But
I get the
I'm
feeling this is
worried that
something
it's
not
gonna
safe for
have dire effects on our group, and I have to protect our friends. You understand? I don't know what's going
Trust
on with you.
Trust me, it's not going to have dire consequences on our group.
I have a feeling this is not safe for work, and I'm not concerned.
What?
Excuse me.
Wow. A million
It sounds
things
like
just
he's
went through
having,
my
like,
head
weird
now.
I'm just imagining that one, like, Goofy Fucks comic, but with rum instead of Goofy.
No, I'm imagining like he's been shitting weird lately and just doesn't want to talk about it.
What the fuck?
Excuse me.
Wow, Bunsen.
Every Sunday night he sneaks out and he kills a family and he eats them and then he comes back to the college window.
Yeah,
I've been having some ruddy poops
I mean,
lately,
that would
but I
explain
really don't
why
wanna
people
talk
are
about it.
disappearing.
Took a fat shit in that tavern, didn't flush, was too nervous to. Just left it.
Wow.
I'm sorry that I do completely derailed.
I'm talking like it was the size of a guinea pig, man. I just left it.
Okay. But number one, what the fuck?
Well, it's something he doesn't want to talk about, but he claims is not going to affect the party.
Alright, so if I can, I would like to roll persuasion and say, Emrit, I need you to tell me, just so I can be sure, that it's not something that the rest of us needs to worry about. Can I roll persuasion?
Alright. Yeah, hit your persuasion check.
Can I provide a luck point to someone else, or use a luck point? As
No,
a
you don't.
Jesus!
A 22.
Roma's just out here. Emerit just goes, okay, it's the whole talking about the identity politics with smoke and all that. It makes me really uncomfortable. It's not a big deal, though.
Why does that make you uncomfortable?
It just does.
So, Anenra / Smoke pretending to be someone they weren't makes you uncomfortable, or what? I mean, the fact that
It's
she
not
opened up to us is a good sign.
Yeah, that's nice, but that's not really the issue. It's not important.
What's
we should
the issue
go
then?
And because the way people view me is very important to me, okay, Rum?
We all like you fine. We're just worried about you.
He's trying so hard to be polite.
Emirates trying so hard to be polite.
Yeah.
Do you know something about Smoke that the rest of us don't know?
No.
Oh. Well, Rum seems to be fairly satisfied that it's not something that's super important then. If it's just his opinion or something.
Can I have followed them and just stumble in now?
You know what? If we're gonna let that happen, I want Shiv's opinion.
Because I think
I'll
I would
allow
have,
it.
if I had noticed them missing, I think I would have gone looking, and I
I'll
can't
allow it.
imagine it would be too hard to find.
Do I
Oh, and
notice
while
her?
we, after
I
this
would-
is all done, I'd like to talk to the faking as this was happening.
I would have had you roll for coincidence if you happened to coincidentally walk down the same alley.
Anyway.
Do I
What are
see...
you two doing down here? I would come from behind where you guys were, and
okay.
I imagine.
So yeah, so I'm
What do you-
imagining
what
that
do
we're
you-
at the northern end of town, kind of on the edge of town, overlooking the trees and stuff, where going to the portal, because Rum was contemplating dragging
Yeah.
Everett to the portal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Point I'd like to make Everett's face is very red at this point.
What are you people doing over here?
We're just having a discussion. See what we can do next. There's nothing else to do.
And you broke away from the party to have this discussion because...
Well, you're all still together. Y'all didn't go find something else to do?
Kellag ran off to do something. I think he's a little obsessed about these odd jobs he keeps trying to find.
We were headed to get some lunch, but we stopped to just look out at the portal and have a chat.
Emrit,
Yes?
is that what happened?
Yeah?
You're a bad liar.
No metagaming. You gotta do an insight check.
Do I, Bryn?
Go for it.
I mean, we know how it's gonna go.
Apparently my rolls are so bad tonight that it should be fine.
Jay knows that Emrit is lying, but Smoke does not.
that was a
necessarily.
D10. Let me roll a D20. It's gonna be an 18 plus 3, so that's gonna be a 21.
Yeah, no, you more than eclipse
All right.
Emmerich. Yeah, no, you can
You
tell.
are a very bad liar.
Just leave the poor man alone.
I could say the same to you. You brought him out in the middle of nowhere and confronted him over something
Because
that's
I
clearly
was
made him
worried
uncomfortable.
about him. It's not really any of your business, Smoke. I was worried about you once, and you came around, and now I'm having a chat with Emmerich. Make sure he's okay.
Okay.
Now, you want to go get some lunch
Regard-
with us?
It's not like I have much else to do.
Very well.
Anything that gets me away from the goblin is acceptable at this point.
Is there any food places nearby where we are?
Yeah, there's plenty of like street vendors and stuff, and like there's a couple of little cafes, basically. So
Okay, Rum will go over wherever he thinks there's something to eat that's not meat.
fair enough.
Did I succeed in finding some sort of place looking for some help today? Willing to pay.
You did.
Is it the cafe they're going to?
No. You did, however, because you were asking around, since they're doing post-party cleanup, every hand is a helping hand.
Do I know if there's gold involved for helping?
There is.
Excellent.
Now you wanted to have a talk with the faking.
Yeah. So faking. Smoke seems to think that there's some kind of death spirit in Emirate. Is there anything that you can do?
A death spirit?
That's what he said.
I don't think. What do you mean by a death spirit? Can you be more specific?
Well, we thought it was a like a ghost or something, but he says it's a death spirit. He left it at that. Smoke seems to think that there's some kind of she left it at death spirit in Emirate.
Strange.
Is there anything that you
I've never heard of such a thing. There have been ghosts that have taken over people from time to time, but he doesn't seem possessed. He does seem odd though today. Even I can see it.
if there's any way we can get this death thing out of him, that'll be great.
I can't think of anything unless I have something more specific. See, if it's just a ghost, that's just easy. That's an exorcism, and those can be done very quickly. In fact, your cleric could probably do something along those lines. But if it's something more, that could be anything. Could be the work of a demon. Could be the work of something much more powerful. But I need specifics.
Well, I'll try to get more specifics, but considering Smoke is, in line with the, that demon, maybe it might be a demon.
It could be. I did not get the same aura I get from Smoke as I did from Emirate. However, it could be something a little bit more. It could have even come through one of the portals and you just didn't notice.
Well, they did say that it climbed into the portal, I believe they told me.
I would gladly examine him, but I'd need again more information.
All right, I'll try to ask Smoke for more information, but you know how she gets. Very
Of
antsy.
course. I will gladly come with you, of course.
Oh, that'll be great.
So while you guys are enjoying your meal, you get interrupted by the faking and Maxine.
So,
Well, what kind of restaurant is this? What will we have been eating?
yeah.
Something that would have been vegetarian friendly for Rum, so it probably would have been one of the little cafes.
Okay.
I'd imagine it'd be something sandwich-like.
What's Tavern up to?
Yep.
Standing somewhere. I just imagine he kind of T-poses somewhere until he's needed. Not like the TF2 like T-pose where it's like the arms are kind of like weirdly at the side. He just stands like that,
Oh my
motionless
God.
and expressionless until someone addresses him.
You just
Is
inspired
this cape
me.
like flying in the air?
That's not entirely inaccurate.
I want to play a campaign where one player has a magic lamp and another player plays the genie in that lamp.
Oh, that's such a good idea. Holy shit.
I'm gonna have to do this at some point.
Play out your cure games first, then you can do dessert.
Welcome. You want to join us? Ron motions to them.
Perhaps another time. I was told that there is something inside of Emmerich.
Well,
I feel
who
like
done
that's
told the fake king that? And he glares at Maxine.
I gotta watch out for Emmerich.
Yeah, you're really worried about everyone in this party.
I ignore him.
Emmerich looks really uncomfortable again.
Must we talk about this in front of my salad?
What do you know of what is inside of Emmerich, since you apparently are the only one who seems to have an idea?
Now look at the boy. This is clearly making him uncomfortable.
Well, to be fair, he looks like that all the time.
And if we have information that can get that thing out of him, I'd prefer to get him out and keep him safe.
You didn't listen to a word I said, did you, Goblin? The spirit can't be pulled out of Emmerich. It doesn't it doesn't exist in there all of the time.
Well,
Death
maybe
is
the
merely-
fake king knows.
And it isn't a death spirit, it's death himself.
We still don't
Emmerich
have the
as a-
mirror, so we can't look at him. I'm starting to... Emmerich, did you take the mirror?
Me? No.
Why
Emmerich?
would Emmerich take the mirror?
Well, he's concerned about whatever's inside him. Perhaps he's looking at it, worried, and working himself up with it.
Who rolled all my dice?
Can I do an insight check on Emmerich's denial?
Yes.
That's a 10.
As far as you can tell, he's telling the truth.
I can't use a luck point for someone else.
Well,
You're not
but I mean,
even
if you're
here.
hearing this, you could probably do your own insight check at least.
Yeah, but
Well, no.
Kellig isn't even here.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Oh, right.
Maybe I just exude luck, and some of it just rubbed off on you.
But, no, yeah. Emmerich seems like he's telling the truth.
Okay.
Regardless, the spirit doesn't take hold of Emmerich for any long amount of time. We'd have to catch him in the act. He's only ever used him as a vehicle to either communicate with me or attempt to steal the book. We left the book at the college. We turned it
that's
back
a
into
book.
a man and left him there. We forgot the book!
When was the last time we had the mirror? Do you think he took the mirror? The book?
The book? The book might have taken the mirror. I know we had it appraised when we got book turned back into a human.
I like how the Fey King is listening to all this and hasn't said anything about it.
What do you think, fake king?
He's
What do you
just
think about
amused.
the death thing?
I'm just sitting here worried that we forgot book.
I do notice something interesting. Emmerich's body language changed from yesterday when you met him. Like when we first met. He holds himself differently today.
I
I
noticed
wonder
that.
why.
Perhaps because he learned that death himself is using him as a puppet king.
I already asked Emmerich what his problem was, and I'm convinced it's not important. Not to
Regardless,
this anyway.
purging the spirit is likely impossible, and even if we manage to do it when he's in the act, it's not likely that any of us, apologies, King, can outstrip death himself in power.
How do you know so much about what has Emerald?
I was literally in service to them my entire adult life.
What adult life?
Dragonborn mature far earlier than humans. I've been an adult much longer than you have.
I didn't actually say that. I'm not there.
Yeah,
no.
well, and also I
Dragonborn-
don't think we know that she's that young.
Dragonborn mature around 12, and Enra's 17.
Oh. I thought Enra was 15.
No.
Oh. I think I got Violet and Enra confused then.
Violet's 14, by the way.
Oh.
Now you're just really wrong.
Sorry.
Is that what Smoke thinks, or is that what is actually in the book?
No, that's actually how Dragonborn work. Dragonborn mature much earlier. They're not Arakocra where they mature at 3, but
Elora is 15, Bunsen.
oh, wait, did you know that
Making sure-
Arakocra only lived to 30? It's fucked up.
Jesus. But you catch the faking just looking at watching Emmerich.
What
Be
are
careful,
you doing?
faking. If you lean over too far, your antlers are going to get into my salad, and I quite like this salad. The vinaigrette is made out of raspberries. It's
Why don't you have a
delicious.
seat with us? It's quite ominous, you just standing and staring.
I guess it is. It's just something seems off.
Well,
I
that's,
would not
that's just kind of
expect-
Emerit's whole identity.
Emmerich gets really uncomfortable at that comment. Like, particularly uncomfortable.
Sorry, Emerit. You
Do
just
you
give
think
off a
before you
something's wrong vibe.
The boy's anxious, you moron.
I know. That's what I'm trying to convey to the faking.
I feel like he conveys it pretty well himself.
Well, clearly
Does
the
the
king is
faking know-
suspicious of him for something.
Does the faking know Emmerich?
He does now.
Yeah.
I mean, like
No.
he knows Maxine.
No.
Ew,
Okay.
watermelon flavor? Disgusting.
I can't eat Jolly Ranchers while I do this.
Maybe
Fuck
you
you.
can't.
Mouth is too small. Oh, no. He didn't know Emmerich the way that Maxine has, or for as long as he's known Maxine. Emmerich is very new to him. After a bit, he turns away and goes, I have to consult someone.
Well, you do that then. In the meantime, can
Don't-
we get some food here? I want another sandwich.
I consider it a big
What
favor
have
if
you
you
been doing?
I finished mine, I
consider-
want another.
I consider it a great favor if you can help Emmerich faking.
I'll do what I can. I have a grave concern about this, though.
We'll just spit it out.
Well, if he is behaving odd, as you've stated, and you mentioned the only time that it seems like it acted up was to speak with you and to obtain the book, someone may be possessing him. But I don't think it's Death, because Death is not a man on this plane.
So you don't know much as you thought, did you, Smoke?
The cleric
I don't claim
I
to
tried
be.
to-
very well aware.
I tried to tell you last time.
Where did you come from? How long have you been here?
You,
What?
You really scared the shit out of me there. You can't come up behind someone like that.
Tavern moves very quietly despite having stealth disadvantage.
Silent as death. Oh,
Well then, it appears to not be Death himself, just a rather very arrogant man. Well, that makes me far less intimidated. If there's
Well-
anything I've learned about men in my lifetime, it's that, well, I should save that comment for myself.
Well, clearly we must perform some kind of magics to get rid of this entity then. Since you've been saying we can't do it the whole time because it's death, now it's not, so maybe we can?
Want to give it a try,
Perhaps.
Tavern?
Yeah, you're adept at what's it called? Necron.
Yes, I will say, you're the only one here outside of the king that can perform any type of magic that isn't strictly for killing people.
I would happily give it a try if you allow me the time to tweak what I am capable of this day.
Oh, we're just sitting there waiting, so go for it.
But
Start tweaking.
out of character, it requires a long rest.
I know. I
can't
figured.
tweak my...
We're having dinner. That counts.
Does it? I always thought that was a short rest.
Yeah.
With rum here, it is a long rest.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means you eat a lot.
Let me go outside and
Yeah, but I
catch my
eat it
tiny hut.
fast.
You ran out of coin on the 5th plate. I've been paying for your 7th and 8th.
I'm not out of coin. What are you talking about?
For a second, I thought you said corn.
You ran out of corn.
What a goddamn conversation.
Just
Sorry,
a
I
pile
couldn't yes
of
and that
empty
one because
cobs
I'm
next
not
to
out
him.
of money. So
He just has like.
When was the last time you checked your purse?
I just checked it.
He's
but-
been reverse pickpocketing you all the
Are
time.
you saying something's gone? Did someone steal it then? I don't know.
You've been reverse pickpocketing this whole time. He keeps on feeding you money so you can buy more food.
I'm just imagining that he has a pile of empty corn cobs next to him.
So,
So, do you want to take a long rest?
I would go pay for.
No, I imagine
food.
that rum eats corn cobs like carrots. He just like
Yes, just snaps it off.
I know my personal idea is that rum eats every food as incorrectly as possible, and it doesn't affect it.
I'm pretty sure if you eat a corn cob like that, you don't need toilet paper later.
I'm pretty sure you just don't shit.
Or that.
He picks up pancakes and eats them like corn on the cob.
No, he folds them like a taco, and like puts the syrup and the butter in the middle.
That sounds like a correct way to eat a pancake. I don't know what you're talking about.
There should be taco pancakes.
Taco pancakes. That's such a good. No, like a taco waffle iron where you can put the bacon and the butter and
Yeah.
everything in there. That sounds like a great idea. Honey, get the patent office on the horn.
So.
The Chef Cast is sponsored by the Waffle Taco.
Just don't order the blue
Yep.
waffle taco.
Shut up! Do not cite the deep magics to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
Anyway, I would argue that since today is very much a downtime day, you could count this as a long rest.
Okay.
Cool.
Let's see here. That's going to be a
Nice
lot of
biscuits.
tweaking because I'm not sure which one will do the job, if any of them.
I know which one it is.
What? You
That's
don't
really helpful.
say.
You
Can
know,
I-
like,
Can I perform an insight check on God?
I have a feeling it would be that one.
you could just pick them all up, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah, I mean, he could, but
gonna...
the next time we get into a fight, he's going to be protection from good and eviling himself against a fucking dire bear and get his entrails ripped out.
Are you a good wolf or
Oh,
Or
no,
you
they're-
just feed the dire barrow a banner.
There's certain spells
Yeah, actually,
that I
that worked
just
so well
always
last time.
have, regardless. So
Yeah, just pick them
It's-
all up.
let's see if we go. That one we've already used and it didn't work. So I don't think Pro Evil and Good would be the job for it, but we're gonna try it anyway because Detect Evil and Good didn't detect the thing.
At the time.
This is true.
Besides, you're gonna go to sleep later today, and that counts as a long rest. So you can reset this stuff.
Yeah, this is true. Don't need
I
that
like how
one.
meanwhile I'm just picking up litter.
Tavern has
Really,
paused
there's-
the game, so the rest of us are frozen in time.
There's There's
And
honestly
Kellogg's just
really
outside picking up trash and not safe for work stuff like used condoms and such.
What?
I don't think it was that kind of party.
Yep, I think it's just I think there's really only one I have access to that might do the job. I'm sure there's cleric stuff later that would be more useful, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so first things first.
Right, before you do that, save it so in case it's not it, we can always go back in time and load.
Back in time?
Yeah, we just load it and go back in time and pick the other one.
Like a
Right.
save file.
Yeah, joking about save states since I had the game paused. You know.
To be fair, if this does not work, I do know someone who could potentially cast something else that would be helpful.
I have a feeling whatever power is using Emrit for their own gain isn't going to be happy when we lock them out, so we should more than likely prepare to be aggressed afterwards.
Do you think that it would be best to wait until such time as this entity is actively using Imrit, or just to try now?
We can't
Probably
tell because we
not.
don't have the mirror anymore.
Who do we
It would
leave?
probably be within our best interest to just go for it.
Well then, I suppose here we go.
We're
And
just sitting at a cafe table, gonna perform an exorcism.
We're just in the middle of the cafe. We're going.
Emmerich just
Wait.
starts picking up pea soup and spinning his head
not-
around.
Not right now. Probably go somewhere a bit more private.
I can make us a tent.
For fuck's sake, let me finish my salad.
That's actually not a bad idea, Maxine.
If you make a tiny hut in this building, I swear to God.
Does the do the walls of the tiny hut have substance? Like if they collide with actual matter, does it just send wood flying?
So you guys finish up eating and everything, and you head out. And
it is an immobile dome of force. So,
are you guys just gonna tiny hut in the middle of the town, or are you gonna go out a little ways?
Well, no one can get in, right?
Yeah.
So anywhere is fine.
Alright.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast the tiny castle.
Tiny castle.
What's
The drawbridge comes down.
good?
You guys head inside with a very nervous Emirate.
Don't worry, Emrit. Everything's gonna be fine. As we haul him into this tiny castle.
He's getting like a shot at the doctor.
So I did cast it as a ritual, so it takes like 1 minute to do.
Yeah. Done.
Do we have to wait a literal minute?
No, I'm making you wait a minute.
oh yeah, tiny
but
hut
you
is a
guys get
ritual.
him in.
Huh.
And so.
All right,
what is your
Maxine.
plan,
Make sure
Tapper?
no one else can come in here except for us.
Alright.
If this isn't a true possession, then it is. It makes sense to me that it would be a curse. So, there is a spell that we have been taught by the lady that should take care of this, if it's a curse.
Oh, I'm excited.
I
I
assume
always
it's
love
Faking's
new
with
magics.
I assume
And-
taking with us or no?
He's with you watching.
Okay.
The fakey came into the tiny.
Yes.
Is
I'm
is
really
the,
glad
wait,
no one is a Fae patron, just because like this is like literally one of the most powerful magical beings on the plane.
I don't know if the Fey King can actually. Well, what size is the Fey King?
I imagined he was like 3 times our size for some reason.
Yeah, that's.
He was huge compared to you guys.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
you're
I was
thinking it's-
imagining
I'm
he was
imagining
definitely
he's just, like-
bigger than medium. In which case,
I imagine
would
he
be a
has
problem.
to bend down to fit in the tiny hut.
You know, he's like hunched over.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was imagining tiny.
He's like-
Hut-
No, I'm imagining him in like a catcher's squat, like you know, like a catcher in baseball. He's like crouched down like that.
What I was imagining was tiny hut. Like I actually hadn't like looked it up. I was imagining tiny hut is a very tiny house, and if you try to enter, you magically shrink down to its size and enter.
It's canon now.
Anyway,
Then I could just put you in my
so
pocket and carry you all.
Well, no,
Cast-
you can't move the hut, and when you leave the hut, you go back to normal size.
Oh, okay.
what spell are you casting, Tavern?
So you see Tavern make, or those who are watching anyway, sees Tavern make a circle with a slash through it. And speak the words Alfaro Maledictus Eris. Remove curse.
You cast Remove Curse on him. Nothing changes.
Well, that was a whole lot of nothing.
Do you have another spell?
Well, maybe he's cured and we just don't know. There's no obvious clue.
Seeing as we didn't have an obvious way to see when the entity was using him, I don't know that it would be obvious that the entity was unable to either.
Well, I was just hoping he would look less like a scared little doggy.
Well, I mean, have you cast a spell before? I mean, doesn't something usually, sound something happens, or?
Emery just kind of looks really awkward just sitting on this circle. I don't know what you expect of me at this point.
Faking, you said you know someone who can cast something.
Well, it's not a curse, and it's not something easily detectable. But there are spells that remove certain kinds of entities. They're just usually wielded by a little bit higher powers. And, he stops for a moment and he says, if I do this, I don't know what that means for Emerit. And I just need you to know that.
Emerit, do you want to spend the rest of your life possessed, or would you rather us try to get this thing out of you?
I would kind of rather not have this thing inside me, whatever it is.
All right, sounds like we got your answer. Let's do it.
You see him just kind of rub his hands together, and he goes to touch Emerit, and then he stops.
What's the problem?
His antlers that have been just generally covered in leaves and vines wilt.
Oh, that sounds bad. Oh, that seems bad.
And he pulls his hand back.
Oh.
Aren't you actually among the most powerful magical beings on this plane?
What just happened to your antlers?
Then that is very bad.
My antlers are fine. I'm fine.
Then why did all of the flowers on the
sure you're fine, Faking? I want insight check on that.
I have a theory of what happened, but I can't say anything.
Rum in the insight checks.
18.
He actually is fine. He's just taken aback.
So I don't suspect that the spirit has changed hosts?
No, you don't.
Okay.
He reaches forward and touches Emerit, and Emerit's entire body language shifts again. And then he removes his hand from Emerit, and Emerit just looks really exhausted.
Did it work? How do you feel, Emerit?
Emerit just goes, I feel really tired. I feel very tired.
That sounds like a reasonable way to feel after being possessed. How can we... Is there a way we can test?
I don't know. We don't know where the mirror is. We
But
need
you
it
remember
still.
who you are and who we are and everything. So we've been talking to
Yeah.
you the whole time, not someone else.
Yes. Of course.
Well, this is certainly strange.
Does anyone want to check his bags in case he got possessed and doesn't know it at a certain time?
Check what?
You can if you'd like.
Right, someone check his bags in case he was possessed and he put it in his bag.
Put what in his bag?
I'll
The
take
mirror?
a look.
Oh.
I would carefully rummage.
You rummage through his bags. You find a bunch of weirdly marked potions, but the most interesting thing is you find the mirror.
So you did have the
Emmerich.
mirror, Emmerich. Are you still going to deny it?
We
Well,
just
maybe-
finished exorcising a spirit from him, Rum.
I know. That's why. If he doesn't deny it now, then that's a good clue that he's not possessed anymore.
I didn't even know I had it.
Well, here's an
Did it
important
get
thing we should
here?
try. I'm going to angle the mirror so I can see myself and Rum in it.
Again,
Not Rum, myself and Emmerich.
I was just gonna say, don't you want to point that at Emmerich? as much as I like to see our reflections.
You see an admittedly slightly different Emirate. But it's still Emirate this time.
Point it at the faking.
Interesting. Do I look any different?
You look like the same vision you got before.
Well, that solves that problem then.
You do note that this Emirate does, look slightly more, he does look a little taller.
Well, this appears to just be you in a few years.
What do you mean?
Well, you're going to
Point it
get
at
taller.
Point it at the faking.
Your Majesty, I have a terrible idea.
Go ahead.
This mirror seems to reflect upon our true selves. In a sense. When we pointed it at Emmerich last, he appeared to take the form of some kind of hero in this culture. I'm not too familiar with it, if I'll be honest with you. But now, he merely just appears as a somewhat older version of himself. It appears to reflect on one's fate, in a sense. I'm going to point this mirror at you. And I just point it so that I can see into it and see the Fake King's reflection. Stop rolling my dice.
You see, the image of a middle-aged, very exhausted man who is very beaten and scarred.
Well, that doesn't seem right. Your Majesty,
Yes,
your thoughts on this reflection?
that was once who I was.
Interesting.
In a much younger day.
Interesting.
Does he have antlers in the mirror?
No.
So where did you grow
Regardless,
the
I
antlers?
think I'll...
Oh, that took a couple hundred years. Comes with the territory.
Regardless, perhaps we should leave the hut now so the Fake King doesn't have to be on his hands and knees.
That would be wonderful.
Emmerich, why don't you stay here and pick a bed and go to sleep?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
The bathroom's in the corner if you need it.
That's just a pot, Maxine.
This hut.
I was about to say,
What the hell? This spell.
Alright.
What have I been up to this whole time?
Well, so if
Just
Emmerich was
sweeping,
possessed,
cleaning
where did the spirit go now?
That is the question, isn't it?
Perhaps you should check everyone with that mirror.
That's a good idea. So point it
I'm
at
gonna
me.
quickly point it at everybody else that's here.
Everybody looks normal.
What about Kellogg? Do you think that could have went all the way over there?
I really doubt it.
Do you think
I
the
honestly don't even
spirit
know
is
what he's
just
doing.
disembodied? Perhaps we should just look around us.
I guess. Is there a check we should make for that?
Yeah, it's like just do the 360 sweep and see if we see anyone who's only in the mirror.
Kid, I don't think there's really a check at that point. You guys just kind of spin around with the mirror and you don't really see anything.
Okay.
As you guys are kind of just talking and dealing with things, that deer from the other day comes back over to the Fey King.
I instinctively roll up my sleeves.
I need you to go tell the other two that I'm going to be having a meeting tonight. And I would like for you to propose to them the prospect of this party talking to him. It is up to you to decide. As it always is. He looks a little bitter about that. And, the deer just kind of like... The deer just kind of playfully runs around him and then just bolts back and it starts to walk back towards the woods.
Which one looked bitter?
The Fey King.
Okay.
He looked a little bitter for a moment.
Did that deer just tell you what to do?
All the llama is like that. The deer is still well within view. What do you want to use the mirror on the deer? Out of my own curiosity?
The voice of God
Oh.
is telling me we should use the mirror on that deer.
You get those hearings a lot. I pointed at the deer.
You see a
I don't
woman
know where
in
they come
shining armor
from.
walking back into the woods.
Perplexing.
An awfully tall woman at that.
I'm beginning to feel
But-
like this mirror is taking the piss.
But not the spirit that was possessing Amrit, right?
No.
Okay.
It isn't the spirit that's in Emmerich.
Oh, so it's still in Emmerich.
No, there's nothing inside of Emmerich.
No, we just saw it. The deer is a tall woman in armor in the mirror.
Yes.
I was just clarifying because you said that's not the spirit that's in Emmerich.
That was in Emmerich.
Oh, she said was.
Well, the spirit that was in Emmerich was a man.
That's
Right. I was
Man.
just making sure.
Yes. I just want to make that very abundantly clear.
Were they wearing similar armor? They were both in armor.
No, the person inside of Emmerich wasn't wearing armor.
Oh,
He was
I
wearing
thought he
robes.
was. Okay.
The woman in the deer is just a very tall woman in very shining armor.
Okay.
She's a where deer.
So I have to ask, what are you guys gonna do until like actual nightfall?
Well, I was still doing my odd job.
Yeah, you're just this is the
You're
this is the
sweeping.
Kellogg's episode. No cereal here.
This episode not sponsored by Kellogg's.
I guess I'll just play my violin for tips.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna be very upset if you make more than I do.
What about you guys?
I'm not sure, honestly.
I'm just getting impatient.
Then I guess we'll just wait.
General cleric stuff, wandering around, making sure that
General cleric stuff.
you
Trying
know,
to convert people. That's
no,
what-
no, I'm not a zealot. I really don't give a fuck if people adhere to my religion at all. It's more of a if someone is dying, perform last rites. If someone could be kept from dying, and I happen to be in their presence, then that seems to be a clear sign from the lady that she has deemed it not their time.
And until then, you're just posing in the corner.
Yeah.
So it starts to get dark. And you as you guys are getting ready to go with the Fey King to wherever he is going, uh Kellig, you finish up. You have earned 2 gold pieces.
Cool. I guess.
Maxine, do a performance check.
Performance. Performance.
It kind of
That's
makes me
plus
want to
9.
tip Maxine 3 just to spite Kellogg.
No.
What did I say? It was plus 9? Yeah, plus 9.
Yep.
Can anyone see what that dice is?
If you hover over it, it'll.
Oh, it's an 8 plus 9, so 17.
You do very well. You're in essence busking gets you, I'd say about 2 gold and a good handful of silver.
I'm very upset.
You guys reconvene at the forest's edge. The Fey King is there.
I want to punch Maxine in the back of the head for no particular reason. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
When you arrive, you find him talking to an awfully tall elven man in similar armor to what you saw in the mirror earlier.
Hey guys, what's up?
They're at the very edge of the forest. You guys are at the edge of the town at this point, so you're approaching.
Did I miss anything?
Not particularly.
Cool. I made 2 gold just today. They helped clean up the mess from the party.
Nice, nice.
A redundant effort, perhaps. It's more than likely going to be just as messy later on.
Figured I'd try to get some gold. I want to get some of that nice armor later. It's very expensive.
Are you going to approach him and the armored elven man?
What'd you say?
Are you going to approach the Fey King?
The Fey King?
He's at the edge of the forest. You guys are at the edge of the town. He's talking to a very tall elven man in similar armor to the first one.
What kind of armor are we talking about? I'm just
No,
kidding.
you can't.
I'm just kidding.
Probably. Yeah, we're almost certainly going to approach.
As you guys get closer to basically being within earshot, they stop talking and they turn and look at you.
King?
Smoke. I wish for you to meet Al-Nalam.
Greetings.
Well, Al-Narak in this case. Sorry, my brain just stalled out.
Greetings, Alnara.
Good to meet you. I hear you are acquainted with a certain patron, but that he doesn't seem to favor you right now.
We are lucky that his gaze doesn't usually extend far past his tower.
There's a reason for that.
You can see I'm on borrowed time. We need to act soon. These portals that are opening are more than likely being constructed by someone affiliated with him. We're being manipulated into opening them.
I'm very familiar with these portals. We've used them many times.
Not the small ones, but rather the larger, more ornate ones that travel to entirely different areas. There's one just north of the city here.
I am well aware of its existence, unfortunately. I'm not sure who placed it there, which is the thing that I'm the most distressed about.
It was placed mere hours before we arrived, though.
We don't guard this forest. We guard something that lives here. Ah. We will allow Chev then to come back. I guess it's a good little breaky time.
What happened with Chef?
Chef has to go let wife in.
Oh, I didn't hear him. So we're taking like a 5-minute break then?
Mhm.
All right,
Sure.
get back.
All right. Yeah, I'll be right back too then.
Mm. My meatloaf. What's up, my little loaf? Honey? Baby, look.
Hmm.
She is Flora Loaf.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. I kind of gave everybody just a little break, so
How long?
like go get food and water, like 5 minutes. So
Can we make it 10 possibly?
sure,
Enough time to make my wife mac and cheese.
fair enough.
Okay, I'll be quick.
Mm.
back.
Welcome back.
Hello, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Cool.
Shiv,
Yeah, Kellogg died.
Shiv asked for a little bit longer, so we got a little while.
Alright. Got me some food.
So have you and Jay been watching any interesting shows?
Mm,
I haven't really been watching anything lately.
yeah. I've kind of just been playing Payday and working on fic and like that kind of stuff.
I've been thinking about renewing my Funimation subscription to watch some anime.
It's not worth it.
Hmm.
Fuck Funimation.
Oh yeah.
I really couldn't watch Funimation because I just had issues with the app.
Hmm.
I just don't trust them.
That's fair. I mean, if anyone listening to this, feel free to smite me. I generally prefer dubs over subs, primarily just because I like to watch the show rather than have to watch the subtitles below it.
See, I watch even my English shows with subs, so
Same.
I mean, it's different if you're just glancing down, like if you're not sure what someone said exactly.
oh no, I most definitely read the subs, but like I don't know why I'm capable of doing both. I get why people wouldn't be, but it doesn't detract from watching the show for me.
Some people with ADHD use subtitles for sensory issues, where their brain needs that to help process certain things. It's really weird. Even I do it, though I do it also just because I watch a lot of videos that aren't in English. But it's not uncommon for ADHD people to be like really good at that. It's just like a thing.
So HBO Max has this like 35 years of Studio GHIBLI, I think it is.
Uh-huh.
They seem to have like some pretty good
Ghibli.
anime movies.
Ghibli movies are very good. They worked on a lot of my favorite stuff for Lupin the Third. Because I'm a very weird old nerd at the same time as a young nerd, and that somehow happened. My taste in anime is both from the 1960s and from the 1990s. And yet somehow from now, something strange has happened that shouldn't be occurring.
I wish we had like
Fucking
a
portals,
Overwatch.
that's what.
I wish we had
Fucking
like
time dilation.
I wish we had like an Overwatch anime.
I don't.
Because I really love the characters of Overwatch, even though I don't play it anymore.
I like what
feel
they
like-
want to do, but honestly, like, they didn't really actually have any good characters in Overwatch.
I feel like the characters are too milquetoast. All of them.
Yeah.
There's a couple that I like.
I would love to know what Zenyatta's lore is. Someday.
Genji's dick has more lore than Zenyatta.
I know. I know.
But like, I honestly like Bastion. I like Torbjorn a lot.
I like May.
The internet really likes May.
She'll put a rock in a snowball fight. I don't know why, but she will.
She's built like me, and it makes me feel kind of good about myself. You can ask Jay.
Weird. Why does this card have a rarity gem? It's not collectible.
Yeah, I really can't watch a movie and read subtitles. It's just for the love of me, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. Everybody
I
has their own
can.
stuff.
I can, I just prefer not to. Sometimes. Unless it's unclear what they're saying, like, if for some reason I'm having trouble hearing them.
Fair enough.
I was about to say, yeah, I have trouble understanding languages I don't understand either. It's
You know, it'd be a fun experiment sometime. What if I tried watching an entire unsubbed, still in Japanese anime, and after I watch it, I try to explain what it was to someone who's already seen it and actually knows what happened? That sounds like a funny idea. Brittany,
yeah,
you
that
want to try
does
that
sound good.
sometime?
Sorry, I was thinking about Psycho no Quasar. What?
What if sometime I, like, as an experiment, I watch not a large one, I watch an unsubbed Japanese anime, like in Japanese language, but unsubbed, and afterwards I try to explain to you what I think happened.
On
Does that
one
sound like
hand, I could be a real bastard and tell you to pick a very specialized anime with a very specialized linguistics to it. But on the other hand, I'm not a bastard, so I just kind of let you pick.
Well, it would have to be an anime that that you've seen, but I haven't.
Yeah, which is why one part of me went, well, duh, I let you watch Utena. But on the other hand, Utena's hard to parse out even with subtitles.
Yeah, pick a more normal example.
What about an anime movie?
Possibly. It depends. Again, I don't think I'm actually going to be able to give you a good answer here.
Okay.
Because, I watch a lot of really weird stuff.
Chev just said to go ahead and restart without him, if you want.
Oh, okay.
You start what?
The thing that we're all gathered here to do.
So he looks you guys over and he says, I am willing to let you meet him, as I am sure that none of you will be able to do any true harm to him, especially after earlier today. However, it is not entirely my decision. I will go and call for them. Analam, Mitaka! And then you just see 2 more people come out. One of them being the woman that you saw earlier, and another one being a shorter, dark-skinned woman. And you all feel like you've seen them before, but you're not sure where.
Would we need to make a history check for that?
An insight check might be a better pick at this point.
Insight check.
I rolled a
missed the
5,
dice
but I'm
tower.
going to use a luck point to re-roll that.
Dude,
That's going to be a 15 from me.
that's going to be a 22 from me.
Alright.
It's gonna be an 8 for me.
It's a no from me.
So, anybody with 15 and over, you feel like you've definitely met them for sure. Very recently, in fact. Not just as the deer that you saw earlier. All of them are wearing similar armor, but but they each have like a different colored cape. Alnarak has a blue one, Alnalam has a red one, and Mintaka has a purple one.
Was one of them from the dream I had a few days ago?
No.
You had a dream?
Yeah, it's not that important. Don't worry about it.
Alnalam goes, of course they can meet him. Of course they can. And Mintaka just kind of looks at the 2 of them and goes, you're going to jeopardize hundreds of years of work because you guys just have a good feeling about this.
The entire world could be at stake here.
Yeah, it could be.
Look at me. You can see it. As I act, I defy the only being keeping me alive. And if I'm discovered, I will die. This is not something I would do with ill intention. Or any intention other than saving this world.
Well, the good news is, if you do cross us, we could smite you like you're nothing but an ant, so it's not too big a deal. Fine. What?
You're just fidgeting a lot.
Mintaka goes, I will allow it, but under the condition that if this one points at Smoke, fucks it up for everyone, I get to kill her. You are such a mean little thing, aren't you? Don't call me that! She just starts getting really upset with Alnarak. And he just sort of gestures for you guys to follow him into the woods. You walk for a good ways into the woods. Probably about an hour, just in silence.
I'm being carried by Rum. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Fair enough. And they lead you to a clearing. Just no pathway. There's no pathway to where you're going, by the way. So you're just following them. And that's the only way you know where you're going. And they go, Master, you may come out. And for a moment, it looks like the stars are moving towards you from the sky.
That's alarming.
Welcome back. Just in
Thanks.
time.
Did you guys just barely start?
No.
Yeah. We walked through the woods. I'm on your shoulder. We're following the armored people we saw and meeting their master, as it were.
Oh,
And now
okay.
the stars are falling from the sky.
Oh, joy.
The sky is falling.
Sorry, my wife had a rough day, so I wanted to use that break to make her some dinner real fast.
That's fair. So it doesn't seem like it is very fast, but it doesn't seem. How do I word this? It's very quick. You see the stars seem to move towards you and then coalesce into one large, very long, silvery dragon.
Is this all the stars?
Yes.
So the sky is like starless then after this.
No.
Yes.
Well, this is quite terrifying and also beautiful.
This was not what I was expecting.
You're going to pretend you know what it is.
No.
What, you didn't expect Parthenax to be a dragon?
Charles Martinet. That dragon is Mario.
He looks you over, and he looks at the three of them, and they're already like bowing to him.
Now that's a nice dragon.
I would like
dragon.
to awkwardly join them in bowing.
Rum, put me down, please.
Okay, I set you down.
I was under the impression that all of the great dragons had passed long ago.
Now you, of all people, should know that's not how it works.
Oh, is that the dragon talking?
Yes.
Oh, believe me, I know in the context you are speaking. But I imagined that our kind had long since passed these abilities down. None of your kind still existed, Great One.
Well, considering your heritage, your involvement, I would expect that's the kind of thing they would teach you.
Perhaps it is true for my kind. So what aspect are you? Light? Hope?
The night sky.
I suppose that
Duh.
was more obvious than I would have thought.
But with the night sky comes the knowledge that it brings. I know that the movement of the heavens holds a certain sway. And you wish to know about the moon gates.
Well,
Well,
apparently.
now I know that they're related to the moon, so...
Is there still a moon in the sky? Only the stars came down?
Nope. Nope. No moon.
So all of the heavenly bodies came down, formed a dragon, and all the dragon has to say is, I know that the movement of the stars means something? That's a bit circular.
You're being disrespectful. This is a literal god.
So? You'd think a god would make sense.
You'd be surprised.
So you wish to know of the moon gates.
Back on topic, yes.
Your kind hasn't used them in a very long time. The last time they were particularly active was during the Great War you had.
I assume by your kind you mean mortals and not specifically my kind.
Yes, I mean mortals, but your kind also used them.
I'm sure we did.
I cannot tell you who's been placing the moon gates, but I can tell you that whoever has knowledge of them would have to have been around during that time. Much of the knowledge of the moon gates was lost on purpose, as the use of them nearly destroyed this plane.
It's impossible. There's no being on this plane that could have lived that long other than your kind.
The Fey King has lasted a very long time, but he is again another who... He would not use them. He's smart enough not to. And the devil's been around long enough to know them as well, but
He's
even I know he's not
indisposed.
that foolish.
You would be surprised at the limits of his foolishness.
I am grateful that you came with one who is not tainted. I have heard from the Fey King, at least in my own way through the grapevine, of what was happening with the child here. And he just kind of looks at Emirate.
I thought Emmerich was in the tent.
Yeah, it's nightfall. You guys have
Okay.
had plenty of time. Buddy, your tent don't last forever. But
I thought you were sleeping it off, though.
it was for a while.
Okay.
I wish to know, what have you seen in the mirror? What did you specifically see in him?
It
We
was
saw the hero. The one that is enshrined in statues in the capital. The one that is revered.
what she said.
You mean the one that caught the light?
Suddenly
Hmm.
things are beginning to fall into place. It's
What-
your light, isn't it?
Hmm.
Is it your light and these motes of light that keep this plane safe?
No. I could not make such a great sacrifice.
The
Some sort
pieces
of
are falling
sun
into
dragon?
place. Oh, just kidding.
It is the very light itself that lights these, not me.
What is this mirror?
Hmm. It looks to be an object that seeks truth.
Told you all I was a wizard.
Hmm.
If originally it was reflecting Emirate as the hero, but now it is not, then perhaps he still lives.
The hero's
Impossible.
still alive after all this time?
Mortals barely live over 100 years.
It is a little disconcerting. He was not the kind of mortal who could live that kind of age. He wasn't an elf. He wasn't anything like that. And even then.
How long ago was the Lightwell situation again? Like
Like
a
a good,
1,000 years, right?
yeah, 1,000 years.
Well, I mean, could we be dealing with time travel?
That's absurd. There's no way to travel through time. There's barely a way to stop it, and even then, no one's ever been recorded of being able to do that.
Well,
what if he
until
froze
5 minutes
himself?
ago, I didn't think the stars could come down and form a dragon.
What if he froze himself so he didn't age?
That's Rum, this is basic science.
What's SARD?
I do know where there are more dragons, or at least generally where there are two. And that's only because they've been reaching out to me.
I can't imagine if the Dragon of Fear still lives, that they've been reaching out to you. There's no way that demon still lives.
When a dragon dies, its dragon aspect goes somewhere else.
Why do you think I killed all those people, Star Dragon?
She lies in the city to the north.
And which aspect will we be finding there?
There are two. They may know more. Because every time they've reached out to me, they have mentioned something very similar to what you've told me about Emirate.
They've seen the hero?
Yes.
Then we must head north and compare notes. Thankfully, I don't think the other aspects will have any issues communicating with us.
They are to the city to the north of this one.
Kuishi?
How far north? We're at the south of the continent.
Just across the mountains.
The capital. We were just there. You mean to tell me those dragons have been there this whole time?
They've been there recently. I'm unsure of why they're there, but they definitely want to leave. And I cannot put myself in that kind of danger, I will admit.
And
Isn't
I'm
that-
going to start talking in Draconic. But I could.
Isn't that where the college is?
If you understand me, dragon, then you know what I am. Can any of you speak Draconic?
me check.
No.
Not without external help. Well, spell
No.
help.
Alright, so you guys don't even understand what the fuck we're saying at this point.
Nope.
To be clear, that same city is where the college is, right?
Yes.
There's no way this giant space dragon doesn't speak Draconic.
The dragon does understand. And he looks to you and he says, I am aware of what you've done. I am aware of what you wished to become. You are not the only member of your people left.
Madness! I killed them all!
I'm not even sure how she got there. But she is there.
You mean to tell me that some insignificant survivor inherited the aspect when I killed everyone for it?
Should we be muting ourselves or?
Nah, I don't
No.
care at this point.
Okay.
It is not my decision to make. It is not your decision to make either. And it wasn't hers as well.
No, man.
My concern is that they've been trying to reach out for help, and I haven't even been able to do anything. My guards can't leave me. They're the last of them left, and even they know that that's dangerous. They've scouted around the city a number of times. I've had them check over and over again. They've spotted you at least once during one of those checks.
But you know I'm not the aspect of fear.
You are not.
I'm surprised to hear that another lives.
You know, I'm really glad you found a dragon friend to play with. But we would really like to know what you guys are talking about.
We must return to the capital immediately. I'm returning to Common. There's someone we need to find.
The Fae patron laughs and says, if you really want to know, she's just upset that she's always a bridesmaid and never a bride. He
Look,
laughs.
Someone getting married now.
You're lucky I'm in a good mood today, King.
I could say the same to you. But you know I would not hurt you.
Do you think the Fae King has a superpower that is to know exactly when one can push someone's buttons?
Oh, I don't think that I don't think that smoke can hurt the Fae King.
I don't think I can kill the Fae King. We must return to the capital. There is a loose end there. One that could potentially solve everything.
Well, how do you want to get there?
We may be of some aid.
Before we go, I turn to the Star Dragon. What is your name?
Are you serious? This is one of the great gods, one of the forgers of the world. Have you no faith?
I wasn't taught much faith on my farm.
Smoke, do you know the dragon's name?
It would depend if this is the original dragon of the faith or if this is an heir.
So no.
I know the original dragon's name.
Most of us lose our name when we take this mantle. Very few of us take our name with us. We tend to attempt to take on the name of the last to keep the illusion up. Very few of us last anymore because back in the day, humans used to hunt us because they thought that if they killed us, they would get some exorbitant power and could banish the darkness.
Well, they didn't get the power.
The few of us that remain, however, are often feared or treated very strangely by people, so we tend to live in hiding. You
So
may
you
call me
don't
Raknam.
Rocknum. Got it.
That's definitely not what you were called on the mountains, but perhaps that's just the common way of pronouncing it. Never understood celestial dragons, thinking they're all so high and mighty because they can forge stars.
You
Well,
pretty
they
much think
are.
you're all
I
high and
mean,
mighty over everyone,
that
don't
is
you,
pretty
Smoke?
impressive, not gonna lie.
They are kind of literally high up in the sky.
To
You
be
think you're high?
fair, to be fair, Smoke, you did think yourself high and mighty simply for having scales.
Yeah. You do that a lot, don't you? Think you're high and mighty over everyone?
I don't want to hear anything from you, Goblin. I'm better than you.
You're better than everyone, huh? Even this dragon.
No, just you.
Well, she at least
Uh-huh.
doesn't try to get people drunk without their consent.
I'm also probably better than... No.
Were you
Maybe
about
the
to say
boy on a
Kellogg?
bad day.
Who were you about to say, huh?
I was about to say, maybe Emmerich on a bad day, but I doubt it. My magic isn't even my own. And most of it is spent keeping me alive. Speaking of that, we should get moving.
It sounds like you made a pretty bad trade.
Yes, I did. And I didn't even get my end of the bargain. That's why we're going to the capital.
It's suddenly occurring to me, will you still have your magic when your patron finds out about this?
No. The magic will be torn out of me, and then I will die.
Well, at least we have some optimistic outlook. The mirror thinks you'll be fine.
Because we know the mirror can be trusted. We're going to the capital to find the last black dragon.
It tells the future. Clearly, I'm going to be a powerful wizard.
We must go to the capital, and we must find the last dragonborn.
Well, you
Suddenly
second to last since you're here, right?
The last black dragonborn, I should say. I know that there are clans of green and red scales farther south.
Did anyone else suddenly think of
A
the last
Christmas
Airbender?
dragonborn.
What is Christmas? Regardless, I thought I was sure during the extermination that there were no survivors, but apparently one managed to escape. They must be fairly young if they did. And whether or not they're friend or foe, we need to find them.
So you tell me that you tried to exterminate all the black dragons?
Yes. Yes,
And
I
you don't
did.
see anything wrong with this?
No, I do not, because you do not know what the Black Dragon clan was.
Uh-huh.
You may even ask the celestial drake above our heads, but the extermination of the Black Dragon clan was nothing but a boon for this plane.
Dragon, is that true? Because, our friend here before didn't even know everyone didn't pretend to have an accent.
The Black Dragon clan, from what I do know of it, was not kind. They tended to destroy smaller villages if they got the chance. They tended to kidnap people. They were murderous. They were destructive.
Do you know how the Dragonborn came to be? We're heirs to dragons, each color of scales, an heir to a different aspect of creation. The dragons were gods. They forged this world. And each of us, each of our scales, come from one of these beings. My scales come from fear.
Smoke, I have a question.
What is your question, Kellogg?
If you come from dragons, why are you not yourself a dragon?
It's complicated. As humanity attempted to wipe dragons out, some of them ended up on the other end of the fence. Do with that information what you will. Regardless, things such as dragons' immeasurable might and size were diluted by your kind's
I'm just
humanoid
struggling to
nature.
figure out the mechanics of that situation, but that's not important right now.
Magic is a powerful thing. I don't have to explain anything.
Fair enough. I will not ask further questions on that matter.
Regardless,
I regret that you asked the one you did.
regardless, my people were born of the aspect of fear. They were raiders, looters, barbarians, bandits. They were a clan of merciless cutthroats and thieves that killed everything that stood in their way. And that was the world I was born into. Born a crippled, unmoving, useless dragonborn, unable to even hold a sword, much less swing one.
Well, you're not completely useless. We like having you around.
Yes, but you people are actual human beings with morality. They only cared about what they could kill or steal. And what use does someone like me, before I gained my powers, have to that race? And I'll let you figure out that question on your own.
Is the Star Dragon just chilling, listening to this?
Yes.
That is why I was cast out.
Can I roll to tame the
After-
dragon?
Do you
could,
want
but
to
it
get
would be
vaporized?
meaningless.
What are you trying to make another Dragonborn?
Once I was
That's it.
after years of torture, beatings, and everything you can imagine, I was finally cast out for being such a disgrace. And it was in those frigid mountains on the 7th day of wandering with no food or water that a voice offered me a deal. Serve him for the rest of my existence, and he would give me the power to enact my revenge. I thought I was the last black dragonborn. My race dies with me, because I am not able to propagate children. Do not mistake anything that I say as mournful. Every last being in that camp deserved the fiery, painful death that I gave them. And this survivor, this loose end to my quest, could very well be the heir to the dragon aspect of fear.
Well, how do you know that this other one wasn't just like you, kicked out?
That is why we need to find them, to identify, first and foremost, who they are. Because if one of those monsters, one of those evil, vile beings, holds the power of the aspect of fear, then we need to kill them.
You need to get to that city very quickly.
By any means necessary.
On the lock, prepare a moon gate. We're going back to the city. You just see her go, yes! Finally! We can't look like this while we're there. I know. But it's like, not here.
Wait, all of you are capable of making those portals.
Yes, but only small ones. We don't make the big ones because it's not good for everything. The little
Wait,
ones are fine.
before we go, how come you guys changed from people to animals?
Camouflage.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are droids?
We're not druids. We're knights.
I don't think a knight would stick out like a sore thumb necessarily.
Well, we're not exactly the kind of knights you talk about very much. Back in the day, we were considered zealots and crazy and religious cults, and we're the last of the order of people that used to protect dragons that humans didn't like because they thought that if they killed them, they'd get all their superpowers, and that's not how that worked. And not many of us are left. Ours is passed down from family.
Hmm.
We don't know anyone other than us. And
Sorry
this
to
is the
hear
only
that.
dragon we can easily communicate with who will willingly allow us to be with them. We've been trying to find the 2 dragons he mentioned, but every scouting trip has turned up empty.
Well, hopefully we'll fare better.
Yes. On the lock, how's it going? And then you see her, like, she's setting the stones in place. And then you watch her kind of just do a series of hand motions, and then
Oh fuck, she's jutsuing.
and then say something that none of you can quite make out, very quietly to herself. And the stones do what they do every time the gate opens. They lift up for a moment, and they lift up, and then the slam back down into the earth, all of that. And a smaller gate like the first one you passed through opens. In fact, exactly like the first one that you passed through.
Well, it seems quite familiar.
Yes, it does. We should get to the capital first, though. There's a great many things we need to unfurl.
Alright. You guys are gonna head into the portal immediately?
Yeah.
Alright. As you pass through the portal, you come to a very familiar, smaller plane.
Like an airplane?
The
Yeah.
shadow plane that you guys passed through that one time.
Oh,
That
you
had
think
the bear.
you think we might find a friendly bear here?
As you guys are passing through, the
Well,
3 of them change form.
We should at least check to see if he could have had a family. We might want to tell them sorry. Kellogg.
Rob, I don't think we have time for this.
We don't have time.
Whoa.
The 3 of them go to change form, and all 3 of them change to different animals. One is a dog that you've met before. One of them is the deer that you've been seeing, and one of them is that weird is that crow that you saw a few days prior while traveling.
Oh, now this explains a considerable amount.
Is it the crow that Salem talked to?
No. You see the 3 of them like start bickering.
The knights have been watching us this entire time.
The one who changed into the bird, which is Mintaka, changes back and changes back and goes, "Okay, we're just gonna be dogs this time. Fine, whatever. Just we need to decide this before we go through the portal, guys. I'm getting really sick of this. You need to stop turning into a seagull. No one has seagulls this far inland.
What's a seagull?
It's an oceanic bird. They're really annoying.
Birds live in the ocean here?
Well, if they lived in the bay, they would be bagels.
No, a bagel is a round piece of bread. You had me eat one this morning.
Alma starts losing it before switching back to one of the 3 dogs that you guys saw on your first day of travel.
Well, you're the little doggies.
Oh
Yeah.
no, this is a flashback.
We have to like check everything out. We were doing scouting and you guys saw us and we decided we needed to leave and
Why didn't you just tell me who you were, so I didn't have to try and dig down to find and save you?
we're literally a secret order. We're not supposed to tell anyone that we exist.
So being
You
seen
knowing we
was an
exist is a big
accident
deal.
then? I mean, you were just outside of town.
Yeah, we've been out here kind of looking around and one of us fell into the water. And we don't really have hands. We didn't need anyone seeing us.
Are you a
Like,
new
we weren't
secret
like
order?
this.
It doesn't seem like you're very good at this.
You just see Mintaka switch back to into her human form and just go, "All right, you."
Roll for initiative.
Alma switches back and grabs her and goes, "No." We are civil knights.
I'm sorry if the truth hurts.
Just smoke is just.
Change back. We're going through the portal. We're going to guide them, and nothing weird's going to happen this time. And we're gonna go find the dragons. Part of why we kind of looked at you a little weird the first time that we saw you is because we didn't know if she was one of the dragons because, there weren't a lot of black dragons left at that point. The fact that it's somewhere
To
in
be
the city.
fair, I thought that I was.
No.
Can you all turn into any animal you want?
Yeah, basically.
Or you should just turn into 3 little cute kittens and ride on my shoulders.
I don't think that would be very secret, Rob.
I don't know.
It
He
wouldn't be
definitely
very
seems like the kind of
suspicious.
person
I
that
love
would have cats
animals.
all over him.
I saved 3 cats from a tree, I'll tell them.
I think we're good.
Are
It could
you
be
sure?
3 stray dogs.
It would be really fluffy.
No. We're good. Aren't we, Mintaka? She just turns back into a dog and he puts her down on the ground. She does not look happy. And he changes back and they walk you through along a very familiar pathway with very familiar trees. And you come out at the field.
Where is that on the map about?
It was the field from last time, so...
Yeah, like, where is that?
Now, are there stones again this time?
Here. Yup.
So someone put them back then, because we collected these ones.
Uh-oh.
The stones pop back up as the second stable point. That was what the whole, larger spell work was about.
So
that was literally why she was doing that.
Oh, so when we exit, it forms new ones?
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's basically a stabilizing point for the exit door. Because they're specifically using this to get from point A to point B.
I see.
Anyway,
so we didn't
you guys,
activate this door after all. Someone came through it, and that's why it activated?
Most likely it reactivated due to the whole, and they vaguely gesture at the sky, which the stars have returned. Man, they're moon gates. They run on weird moon stuff. He won't tell us exactly how it works. All we know is that it's dangerous in the wrong hands if you use it too much. And honestly, I'm gonna kind of trust him on that one. That's weird. Anyway, I think we should call it here. It is almost 11:30.
Yeah,
Sounds
seems
good.
like a good
Okay.
stopping point.
That sounds good.
Y'all are just outside the city.
Alright. Ready for the outro?
Yee. This has been Lumiere. Thank you for listening. If I'm not mistaken, the next game is Tomb of Annihilation tomorrow night at 10 p.m. MST.
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
MST.
Oh,
Yeah.
8
10 p.m.
MST,
Eastern.
Sorry.
Time
10
isn't
p.m.
real.
Eastern.
Time is definitely not real. Also, apologies to anybody who listened to Tomb any of the previous weeks that I've run it. There was apparently a bad echo because I had my input settings wrong.
Weird.
That, I believe, has been resolved.
Cool. But yeah, no. Thank you for listening and have a good night.
Have a good night.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Later.